highbrow techie guys.
Especially you, Tim. You know, looking at your age, I think you know how to plug and unplug.
Shut the fuck up about my age. I've had a hard life. I'm 27. I had tough. I was sent down the coal mines when I was like 12, and
now you're 18 right now, right?
Tim, you're a horrible person. You're so horrible.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I agree with you. He's horrible.
I am. And I've got these glasses that keep sliding down.
Because you're sweating as well. Both of you are sweating. What's happening?
I know, yeah. Well, I'm
actually,
sweating.
This is just my natural glow. I stopped sweating a while ago. This is just, I'm so young. I use face cream.
You're beautiful. That's perfect.
So do I. I don't use it on my face though. I have other uses for face cream. Actually, let me ask you this question before we kick off. Well, this I guess is kicking off. Can you change your fucking name, please? And can you put an M in it so it just like, because I always want to say Ambirge and I know it's not, and then I want to say a bridge too far or a bridge over the River Kwai or whatever, and I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, and I don't. I've kind of known you or who you were for like years, but I was always a bit intimidated by you. Like I didn't want to get into a conversation with you because she's a woman that's sweating. Oh my God!
Can we
there
see
you go.
cleavage now? What's happening right now?
That's something like they find on Tutankhamun, isn't it? It's just like So first of all, how did you pronounce? What?
Wait, hang on. I really need to make sure I have the recording straight because whatever's coming out of your mouth right now, needs to be recorded. Hang on. I just want to make sure.
I thought you were going to say, I really need to make sure that I'm on the right podcast now. because I'm pretty sure I fucking stumbled onto somebody else's podcast. Yeah.
No, this is definitely the best podcast I think I've ever been on, and I've only been on for literally 30 seconds.
Don't worry, it'll only go downhill from here.
Is it your first podcast, first of all? No?
Sometimes it's just so awkward. It's like, hi. Thanks. It's really weird, and I don't like weird. Weird is weird. Okay, so recording the audio. I guess I need to record my computer audio so I get you guys in there too.
No. Your voice.
Don't do that. Oh my God, we need to.
I thought we were just doing that because his computer crapped out. No,
don't worry. It's okay. It's working. Don't worry.
It's working.
Because we are men, we solved it. We are bright and clever.
So do you just need me to record the audio?
Your voice.
Just yours. That's
God. It's so easy. Okay.
Perfect.
God, she's so easy.
That's
so
what
easy.
they always used to tell me. Okay, we are recording.
You've toughened up. Okay, so
I mean, as I got older, I got fatter, so no one even talks about me anymore. It's so depressing.
Oh yeah, right. Like there you go. Is it an Amy Schumer type of approach?
Yes.
Yes.
No, I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about, Amy Schumer. I'm drinking wine.
Well, she drinks wine on stage, doesn't she? And then she talks about getting fat and basically she just talks about drinking wine, getting fat, and fucking loads of dudes. Which if you can make a career doing that, I'm like, that would be great. I'd fuck dudes and drink wine and get fat if I could make a career doing it. But I'm not sure that anybody would bother to.
I can see you doing this, Tim. I think you'll be great at that. I think.
I'd take a hot load just, if it was going to earn me $1 million a year. I think. Yeah. Probably.
Me too. Me too.
I thought life wasn't about the money, guys. It was about happiness.
No, that was.
That's okay.
Yeah. No, money buys happiness.
So 2011.
Yeah.
Everything's about money now. Okay.
Yeah. The new black is money. So anyway, as I was saying, tell me about your name. How do you pronounce it? Because it's not a bridge over the River Kwai, is it at all?
Okay. Do you want to know a secret?
Oh yes.
Oh.
I mean, this is a big secret.
Does it involve badgers?
I can insert a badger.
Yeah, okay, insert a badger. Leave it at that and let me just imagine that. You're inserting a badger. Okay, go on, tell us the secret now.
I don't know if I can tell you the secret. It's really
come on.
I don't know. It's like really big. I've never even told it before. It's a really big secret.
Nobody's listening. Nobody's listening. Come on, you can do it.
Well, I mean, he's not joking now. Really, nobody's listening. I mean, we haven't got any listeners. So seriously, nobody's listening. So tell us the secret.
And it's a big one. It's about my last name. It's huge. No. Never before told.
Okay. It better be fucking good now after you built it up like
now,
that. Yeah. If it doesn't involve like seriously, like corrupt politicians and scandals
and murder.
And murder and donkeys and vats of chocolate and things like that, then we're going to feel let down.
Come on, Ash.
I think donkeys and badgers are a little much to ask in one story, Tim, but yes, it is. I think this is my coming out moment. I'm going to use it. I was saving it maybe for like a Nobel Prize moment. Okay. I was going to just bust that on stage someday.
And any particular Nobel Prize? I mean, physics or Nobel Prize for blogging, or I don't know, Nobel Prize for drinking wine. I don't think there's a Nobel Prize for drinking wine.
Come on, can we have a secret now?
There should be one now.
Shut up, Tim. I want the secret. Come on.
Okay.
Okay, so when I was a wee lass, and I got my very first job in... Oliver, what's your vocation?
HR.
HR. Yes.
Oh! I thought you meant pimping around on the.
Shut up, Tim.
Pimping around on the port when the boats come in. Sorry, HR.
That too. Yeah, I don't have as much experience, but when I got my first job in HR, I was doing marketing for an HR company. I decided that I had moved so far away.
It's too long story. Cut it out.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear it? Okay, I'll save it. I'll save it for later.
Oh no, I do really. We were just pretending.
Okay, so I got to Philadelphia, which was the big city for me, and I realized that when I went on an interview, I didn't even get the job yet. That's right, I went on the interview, and I decided that my last name sounded decidedly average for a small town girl coming from the middle of nowhere in northeastern Pennsylvania with one stoplight, one gas station. And so when I went to the interview and they asked me what my name was, I decided...
How can you only have one stoplight? There must have been at least two. There must have been one on each side. Otherwise, it wouldn't work at all, really, would it?
Tim, the story is already too long. Please don't interrupt. Please.
Sorry, yeah. I'm just pointing...
It's true. No, okay, never mind. I'll save the rest of the story for later. You'll know by the end of the podcast what the rest of the story is, because it's very scandalous.
Okay.
I'm disappointed.
He's crushed.
I'm disappointed.
Okay.
Ash.
Bottom line is, I totally told them that my last name was pronounced Ambirge, because doesn't Ambirge sound so amazing? And I was going on so many different interviews. I was like, yeah, this could really work. I really like this. This sounds like somebody who deserves a job. And then I fucking got the job. And then I was like, oh shit, I can't tell them that my last name is actually pronounced Ambirge, because it is. So now, ever since my very first job, 15 years ago, I've been rolling with Ambirge, because that was my career name. And I could not tell these people after they just hired me, oh, by the way, I lied in my interview about my name. I was just fucking with you. Seriously, and that's how now you pronounce my name, Ambirge. It was totally just a fluke. So you better fucking pronounce it that way, Tim.
I would pronounce it Ambirge, like this, not Ambirge.
Yeah, he's French. He should know.
Exactly, I'm French.
He talks like a dick, like that. Sounds like it's pronounced.
That
sounds like you wanted to be French. Well, we insult. By the way, we make it our policy to insult at least 6 separate nationalities in every podcast, and if we can throw in a couple of races and religions at the same time, that's really cool as well. So
beautiful.
Don't.
Well, I just insulted all of France, because basically everyone's like, "Oh, is your last name French?" I'm like, "Yes." So French.
So French is from Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Now that we've established I'm a big giant liar, what's next?
Can you introduce her now, the liar, please, Tim? Maybe. or do you
Not
have
really.
any?
I don't fucking know anything about her apart from she lied about her name. Well, I've seen her around on the internet, basically Twitter, and clicked through and read a few of her blogs, and they always make me laugh. And then I always think I fucking hate her because she gets more comments than me, and people think she's funnier than I am, and which is probably true.
I think she is.
But she's one of these people that is like to me real, and I like, she'll just spew it out there like I will. I get the impression that you get an idea in your head and you tweet it first before you actually run it through any sort of filters and think, what the fuck is that gonna, rather than, the whole who can I insult now? I think I'm going to insult Marie Forleo. That band of people that are following that. This is how you do it, and this is, this sort of aspirational life that you've got to be like this. Everything's got to be perfect and what have you. And this is what attracted me to you, is the fact that you're real, and that's what I try to be. Is just like, I'm a fucking stupid English idiot that drinks beer and swears a lot, but I'm a fairly good coach, I think. Nobody else thinks that because I've got no clients. But if I did have clients, they would think that too. So that's kind of my introduction. So I've always had this what's the word?
Fantasies?
Not fantasies. Sick individual. Fantasy. I was going to say the fantasy is till the end. No, this respect from a distance of somebody that, especially for a female, because it's harder for a woman to do that, and it really is. And I don't mean to be patronising to women by saying that, but it genuinely is. For women to do that, to go out there and say fuck this or fuck that or whatever, or say what they're more likely to come under get a load of shit and what have you than a guy is. People just unfollow me. Very rarely do I get people giving me grief. I do sometimes on my blog, but not, but so that is why I wanted you. And it is a really cool thing. So you tweeted to a latest blog post of yours, and I just happened to see it, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll go and read it. And I'll be honest, I don't subscribe, and I don't subscribe to almost any blogs at all. And I went through and I read it, and it made me laugh, and I sent an email to Olivia, say, we've got to get her on the podcast because she'd be a real good laugh. And he emailed me back and said, I can't believe you've said that. I've just read something by hers, and I was going to say to you, we've got to get her on the podcast. And that's the first time
we agree on something.
Yeah,
that's the very first time.
Exactly.
I think we should be fifth. By the way, amazing.
By the way, while Tim is still on the intro, if you can do some emails if you want, Ash, in the between, because he still have also 10 minutes at least of intro, so we can do something else in between. Don't worry.
That's the intro. So we both thought it was dead cool, this post. We both thought, you would be a great guest to have on, because normally Olivier wants to talk about death. So anybody in the world that's an expert on death, we've had them on our podcast. We've had everybody. I
saw that.
We're still trying to get the Grim Reaper on. He's like, But other than that, that's all we've done is talk about death. So, but we have had some comedians on, some people. And so we thought we'd have you on, and you could give us some.
Ash, can you talk, please, now? Please talk. Please.
Say something. I'll shut up. Sorry.
Anytime. Yeah, I mean, I know some coroners. We should probably get a coroner on your show eventually. I feel like they know a lot that we don't know, right? There's so much to know about dead people that we just don't know because we're living.
We should start another podcast. I think it's another project of ours.
You don't want to go that direction with this one? Raw voices.
No.
Dead voices.
Dead voices. That would be cool. And it will be only silence. Like 1 hour of silence.
Yeah, you could have come up with your name, Ambirge, and it's because you did some. Maybe you did some hypnosis, and you did some like a past life regression, and you were a princess. Princess Ambirge in 1620, somewhere in fucking Belgium or somewhere. And I don't fucking know.
I could wear a corset or some shit. That would be wonderful for my physique.
Yeah, I'm wearing one now. It's keeping my stomach in.
So Ash, can you tell me what you do? Because for the very first time, I never do any research on you. Basically, never.
I'm so honored. Thank you
I
so
did.
much for that.
So, can you please? You're in Costa Rica, right? So, so can you give us a little bit of background? How the hell did you land there, and what the hell do you do?
I don't stay in Costa Rica all the time.
Right.
I move around quite a bit, which is why I'm coming to Europe, and I'm on my way to Mexico in a couple of weeks. So it's a little transient. But I mean, I run the Middle Finger Project. You know that much, right?
Yeah.
We've got that down, right? So
Not
I run the
really.
Middle Finger Project.
What is that?
Fucking hell! You've just given us away now. You're supposed to say, yeah, we know that.
No, but I'm playing the dumb stupid for the people who don't know. You know, of course I don't know. Please tell me more about the Middle Finger Project.
No?
Yeah, you guys thought Amy Schumer was bad, just getting on and talking about getting drunk and screwing people. I mean, here I am. I've created a whole career out of giving the finger. It's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, no offense to you guys, but it's mostly for chicks because we're traditionally bad at giving the finger, right? And I can't even do it. Look, I'm like, do I even want to do it? Like, yeah. I started this blog years ago. It was called The Middle Finger Project, and it was all about me ranting and raving about how I hated my HR job and I was going to quit, and I really didn't give a fuck. And I didn't give a fuck. And then it evolved, and I started incorporating my background into marketing and sales and telling other people how not to give a fuck, which was kind of cool. Sounds like what Tim does a lot. And now it's evolved into this crazy, weird brand. It like has a life of its own. And it's turned into my entire soul business, just telling people how not to give a fuck anymore, which makes me sound like a life coach. And I'm not a life coach. I do a lot of business coaching and writing, but I don't actually do business coaching. So there you go. There's the very long elevator pitch.
So you do a lot of business coaching and writing, but you don't do business coaching.
So just writing.
Just writing. Okay. So where does your income come from?
He wants your money. That's it.
No, I'm looking some free coaching advice because my business is going down the shitter. So yeah.
Well, I've just launched, for example, a really fun paid subscription called Unfuckwithable Girlfriends. Again, for the chicks. And they pay me money every month, and I write to them. So that's how that works. That's one revenue model. I do a lot of workshops, all online. And I make a lot of classes and things for people. I write books. I'm writing a book right now, a traditional one, which isn't making me any money at all, but it will be exciting to see my name in Barnes & Noble. Oh. Yeah.
That's great. So basically you tell people to not to give a fuck, basically. Is it that? This is what you do.
I think that's exactly what she just said, but yeah,
no, exactly.
Let's reiterate for anybody that's got an IQ below amoeba level that's listening.
Oh, fuck you, man! Come on, yeah. I'm trying to make sense of it all. You know, I'm slow.
It's a really simplified, cartoonish version of what I do. Yes, but since this is kind of a cartoonish podcast, I'm rolling with it. But yeah.
Cartoonish podcast.
How many people do you meet every single day that are like, I fucking hate my life. I really just wanted to be a painter, but fuck me, and I never did that. So I tell them to actually go do that. And you know what's weird is they listen to me, and then they're like, oh my God, Ash, awesome. I want to buy your book, and then let's do this other thing. I host international retreats, which is why I'm coming to Europe. Sometimes more than the tactical stuff, it's really just people need the permission. It's weird, but it's true. I bet Tim knows that. People need the permission to be able to do what they actually want to do. Sometimes a brand called the Middle Finger Project, who has products called Unfuckwithable, are really attractive to the small, vulnerable crowd of people who are going, I really want to do something, but I don't have the guts. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I'm using technology. I'm making a platform. It's pretty cool.
And why women, especially women, why not us, for instance, men who are suffering like us, who are miserable, you know?
I'm suffering working with him. So, what advice would you give to me working with Olivier, suffering badly?
I do have a lot of male readers. It's funny. And I have had a lot of males contact us and say, can I buy your unfuckwithable girlfriend subscription? Can I please? And I'm like, yes, if you really want to.
Yeah, can you give me some money? Let me think about it. Yeah, go on then, give me some money. Yeah, and you can have it.
Yeah,
It's still program.
I'm not
Yeah,
discriminating at all. I just no, the targeting is stronger. I've been doing this since 2009. It's been quite a while. And in the beginning, I expected younger people who would be more receptive to an untraditional message. Nope. You know who hangs out on my blog? Soccer moms, mental patients, like
yeah.
something like
Hillary Clinton, no doubt. I would have thought she's there all the time, and I like that approach. I mean, when yeah, I've had people ask me who have people I've coached, can you teach me to write like you? And I'm like, no, I can't. I can't teach you to write like. You've got to write like you. But you've got to be prepared, and this is what I think you do really, really well, is you've got to be prepared to polarize people. You've got to be prepared to know that probably 90% of the people are going to land there and think you're a fucking idiot and move on, but who cares? It's the 10%. And that's what I think you do really well. I mean, your branding is fantastic in terms of it's like, I don't care if you don't get my message or don't want to hear my message, but for the people that do, here's what it is. Would that be fair to say, or am I getting all serious?
People ask me all the time. They're like, "How did you get all this traction?" And I'm like, I just didn't think anyone was watching, and that's the truth. In the beginning, I was just writing for myself.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So that's brilliant. I didn't think that is one of the best quotes I've heard for ages. I didn't think anybody was watching. I think, seriously, if I was writing a blog post now, tweet this. I didn't think anybody was watching, because I think that's just a cool way to describe it. Sorry, I'm taking
so often we filter. I'm writing this blog post. Does it appeal to my target market? Me. Like so many filters you go through. And really, you end up with shit writing. And the fact is, the internet, it's the currency is writing. It's not attention, it's fucking writing. Everything on the internet is writing. So if you can write well, you're able to garner some attention, which comes later. But in the beginning, if you're censoring yourself, ooh, I mean, who wants to read an academic paper?
Have you ever written a post where you've been actually nervous to hit publish?
I've gotten sued for it too.
Oh yeah? Tell us that. Tell the story.
Yeah, tell us that. Let's bring on another lawsuit. Because we may be able to blackmail you with it afterwards by threatening to go to the people again. Tell us about that.
I don't know that I can go into too much detail. I'm still in active litigation.
Oh.
But there have been things. I publish, right? I tell the truth. I tell my experience of what's going on. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it is scary, because you have these moments where you're like, wow, I have thousands of people reading this, and maybe this is going to be the post that they're just going to unsubscribe. They're going to say bye-bye, whatever it is. But I have, over the years, started to learn that really, at the end of the day, it's my job to tell the truth. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting myself through the goddamn ringer every single day with a number of different business experiments, all sorts of stuff that I'm doing. And my job, my duty is to tell the truth. If I'm just giving some sugar-coated, here's how you, create a brand, nobody needs that shit. We need to talk about what's really happening, what it's really like in the trenches. And guess what? Here's what's going on. I'm getting sued by this person. I'm suing this person. These are real things that happen in the real world. So I prefer to share those. And that's kind of why it's the Middle Finger Project, right? It's real.
Yeah, we had James Altucher on. Are you familiar with him?
Yes.
We had him on the podcast, and he said, if you aren't scared when you publish a blog post, you shouldn't be publishing it. Which I think is probably going a little bit too far to one extreme, because I've published posts where I've been really nervous, where I've come out in favour of gay rights and come out and written political posts and known that I'm going to lose subscribers and whatever. But I think the point is a good one, that it's if you're not prepared to rip your own heart out, and put it on a platter, so to speak, and tell this is how I am, then it's not. How can you claim to be authentic? And I think people, I would imagine your readers are incredibly loyal because of your authenticity.
Yeah, I've had that very good fortune. I will say that. Yes.
It's not,
And you know what?
it's not good fortune. Come on. It
Well,
isn't. Don't be self-deprecating. It's not good fortune. It's having the guts and the balls to go out there and say this is who I am and not be concerned about what other people think and how they're going to judge you. I don't think that really comes into the realms of good fortune, to be quite honest with you. So sorry to disagree.
yeah, I mean, I've had moments, right? I've had moments where you're wondering, like, oh, well, what's a federal judge going to think about this blog post? Is this a character? Right? Like you're judging me literally on character things. So there are moments where you're like, wow, really should maybe filter that. But at the same time, it always goes back to truth. And the honest to goodness is that I notice I'm far more myself on that blog in my writing than I actually am in person.
Really?
Yeah. I can be far more honest with you and direct if I'm writing it to you than I can if you're staring me in the face and you're a total stranger. And that's kind of the cool part of it. I can't see the stranger's reading, but I'm allowed to just be exactly me and say what I want because I can't see you on the other side of the screen, so I'm not intimidated by you. And that's the cool part about writing, at least on the internet.
So right now, are you authentic 100% or are you just filtering a little bit right now? Or are you still holding...
I don't think I'm filtering too much. This is a little different.
No, I don't think you're filtering at all, to be quite honest. And I kind of get that to a certain extent because when let me ask you this: do you laugh at your own jokes?
It depends. Were they good?
Well, when you're writing stuff, because I've read blog posts of yours where I've laughed out loud, and I think when I write something. Because when I'm writing anything that I think that is humor or whatever, if it doesn't make me laugh, I take it out because it not from an arrogance point of view. Because I'm thinking, well, if it don't make me laugh, why the hell would it make anybody else laugh? And I'm just wondering, because you're very witty, your writing's clever and it's charming in an
American way,
in the gutter kind of a way. Do you know what I mean? It's really cool, and I just wonder if you laugh at the stuff you're doing as you're doing it, and if you think, I don't even know where I'm going with this.
No,
really.
I don't know either.
No, but it's making me think about it because I don't know that I've often been that conscious to think about it. Literally, I don't know that when I'm writing, I'm actually thinking about making something funny and whether it will be perceived as funny. Sometimes, yes, in the editing process. But a lot of times, I think I'm just saying what I would say to you right now, which is why the F word comes out a lot. Like, I'm like, fuck that. That is a horrible idea. It kind of just comes out. And more in my writing, which I like. I feel like I can really be myself on the page more than I can if some stranger comes up to me and just asks me what I think about their business. Because then you have all these polite things.
I'm just a girl. I wouldn't know about things like that. I'm very sorry. Yeah.
So are we winning the battle of authenticity right now? What is happening right now, Tim?
One of my dogs is going mental. What does it sound like?
I don't know. I'm just talking and suddenly your dog is barking. Did you train your dog or something? No?
I'm glad it's not the cleaning lady. The cleaning lady's in the bathroom. She's terrified to come out because I told her, don't make any noise.
I've got 3 Dobermans and I have trained it. I've trained it to start barking when you talk.
I know. This is exactly what I'm asking you. Stop that.
I can't put my mic on mute because it's not working for that mic. But I can shut the door.
I will ask the question then. Okay.
Shut the fuck up!
So the question for this authenticity battle is really to bring authenticity to everyone. Here we have your blog. So are we winning this battle? Do you think that people are waking up now and they want to be more authentic? Where is it going now?
No, I think authenticity is such a buzzword that's so tired. I think people are tired of hearing about authenticity, even though the concept of it is respectable and certainly desired. I think the word is hard to even get on board with anymore. It used to be, right? When the internet was new, we were all like getting blogs and everyone was like, well, here's the key. Authenticity. And then it seemed like a novel idea, but now it's like, yeah, okay, but what the fuck does that mean? Because nobody really knows what that means. So a lot of times people interpret authenticity as, let me get on my blog and I'm going to tell you exactly my deepest, darkest thoughts in this very moment right now. And you know what happens? Nobody wants to read their stuff. They're like, whoa, that is way too much, dude. I don't trust you at all. I'm definitely not buying. Like,
put that donkey
TMI.
down now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gone too much in the opposite direction because of a misunderstanding of what that word means and how we can use it as a tool and not just like a big fucking buzzword. You know?
I think that's really. I had a conversation with somebody we actually had on the podcast. Body Pax, who is a Buddhist scholar and teacher of meditation, but is also Scottish, which you would have known by the name Body Pax. It's obviously a Scottish name, you know. Anyway, I've become friendly with him over the last 8 years. We had this conversation on Google Plus, which was fantastic. And so I'm going to use a word now that in the UK is nothing like as serious, or it's pronounced differently, and it's not gender specific. And the word's twat. I know you say twat. We say twat. And in the UK, it's just like you stupid twat. It's just like not serious. Like over here, I was going to put it in a blog post once, and I thought, hang on a minute, I've never seen that anywhere. This must be more serious. And over here, I realise it's gender specific, tends to be aimed at women. And we're having this conversation about authenticity and what it meant on Google Plus. And he did this brilliant line, which I thought, this is a few years ago now, and I just thought it's fantastic. He said it's being yourself, but not yourself at your twattiest. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, be yourself, but you don't have to be a complete dick. I mean, we've all got that dark side where we can be a complete, you know, dick and
yeah, we kill puppies and stuff.
Yeah. What?
Do that all the time.
I killed 4 this morning, and little fuckers deserved it. But that's another matter. You know, they were annoying me, and they were just trying to look just too cute. But I agree with the authenticity thing. I think it's like, you know, it's just. I think that if we met, so you're going to Europe, and obviously Olivier is somewhere in Europe. I have no idea where, but he's in Europe. And if we all met for a coffee or a beer or whatever, I don't think any of us would be shocked and walk away thinking, fuck me, I had no idea they were like that. And I think that's the thing about it. I think it's, you know, I want people, when they read my stuff, to know who I am and what I'm about. And I think that's what comes through from your stuff. It's like, this is who I am, you know, and you may, to begin with, you may have the mask up a little bit. But after that, you know, after a couple of glasses of wine, it's just like, you're going to know who I am, and you're not going to be surprised. Would you agree with that? Or
but why is it? I mean, why do we have so much trouble as a population of people like being who we are? I think this is a bizarre thing, and I'm not saying that I am totally always who I am, because I'm not. But I'm wondering, like, why is this such a hard thing for people? Is it because they don't want to be who they are, or because they're filtering, or because they're just not good at expressing themselves via writing who they are? Maybe a combination of all three, but. I do think.
Fear. I think it's fear.
Exactly, this is what I was meant to say. Don't you think that they are just scared to reveal themselves?
Yeah, I think it's...
Well, if that's the case, then we have a very sad state of human affairs. I mean, that's like across the board, right? We're all just so scared to be ourselves.
I think we are. I think we are. I think if you wouldn't have Donald Trump running for president in your country, Tim, right?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Listen,
if people weren't afraid.
I'm on a plane back to the UK. If he gets fucking like seriously, I'm going home.
Time out. Are you in Missouri, Tim?
No, I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida?
Yeah, why?
No, you're not in Florida.
He is.
Yeah, I'm in Orlando.
I was just there like the other week. You're in Orlando? What are you doing in Orlando?
Yes, what are you doing, Tim?
I fucking live here. We moved here 10 years ago. You were here and you didn't.
I was cruising around Winter Park, like checking out the area.
Winter Park's lovely.
It's adorable. I actually wanted to
can we go back to Trump, please?
No,
can we?
I'm about to pull here. Shut the fuck up. You know. Okay, I'm 30 years too old, bald and ugly, and I'm married. three mental dogs, but that's not the point. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we moved here. I didn't move here for the culture. I've got to be honest. It was just there's one reason only. I moved here, and that's because I can put shorts on anytime from like about the middle of December to the not middle of December.
So like January.
Yeah, whatever. Like 10 months a year. I don't have to look outside the window first to check on the weather like you do in the UK, and I just hate the miserable weather. So anyway.
Okay.
Wow. I'm here in Costa Rica, and I hate that part. I'm like dying to put on a trench coat. Like, please rain today so I can wear a hat.
Trench coat.
Okay, guys.
I will coats with perverts. It's like, I've got a trench coat. Yeah, whatever.
Are we talking about the weather now? That's good.
No.
It's raining outside in Paris. Can I talk also about the weather? That's fucking interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Or live in Bordeaux or somewhere, or Saint-Tropez. And
you said so. Okay, let me try a serious question. Actually.
Seriously?
No, because I think it's very interesting. You said at the very beginning, it's all about permission. Permission. Give permission to your readers to go somewhere. Can you elaborate on that? Because giving permission it's a coaching thing actually. Can you give you the permission to do something? So can you elaborate on that? How you enable these people?
Yeah, it's scary as hell. No offense, you guys, but I'm scared to death of the word coach. Like, I'm scared to death to be like thought of as a coach because there's so much weirdness that goes around it.
Yes, look at us.
Don't be scared. We both agree. Life coach is the shittiest term in the universe. We both agree. It's just that there's no other way around it. It's in the public. So carry on. You're certainly not going to offend us. I mean, Olivier ain't even going to get clients ever, so you're not going to offend him. Sorry.
Well, I think it's weird, but I think it's interesting, actually, because I think as humans, we've been doing this for hundreds of years. Exactly. Just until recently have we put this term, like life coach, on it. But pick up any book. What are you looking for from a book? You might be looking for knowledge, but in so many ways, whatever book you pick up, you're looking for permission. Like, I really want permission to do this. You're looking for that inspiration. And it's been for years and years and years. I think as humans, we need that validation from other people. Whether that's weak or shitty or weird or not, I haven't decided. But I think that it's a truth. It's the truth for sure. So when you have an internet and you have the ability to Google things and you're sitting there, it's 2:00 in the morning and you're feeling like a real asshole about something. It's
killing puppies, for instance, as you said.
Totally, really so bad about that. Okay. You have the potential to Google and you stumble across this blog called the Middle Finger Project. What people tell me time and time again, and this is the only thing I can tell you, is what they tell me, and that is, for the first time, I felt like someone understood me. For the very first time ever.
That's cool.
And I think there's something really important there. There's that connection, that human connection. They've never seen my face. Well, I do have my face plastered across my website, but they've never met me in person. But somehow reading 5 paragraphs of something that I've said all of a sudden makes them feel more human, more validated. And at that point, a couple of different things happen. But not only do they get, it's like addicted to that feeling. They want to feel more like themselves. If you can make someone feel more like themselves, gold. But also, the marketer in me says that this is the sweet spot. When someone is so willing, they'll hand you whatever. They'll give you their money. They'll give you their email address. They want to be understood more and more and more. And I think that's what I've done really well overall, is helping people feel seen.
That's exactly it. For me, is it being understood or be seen? Because really seen, like really, this is me. Without all this filter or without all this mask. Because I think you're right when you said that this is something, before coaching, we used to interact much more with each other. There was like this sense of community before, right? And I think that today, in today's world, we are very alone, lonely, and people are, lonely, and they are craving about this relationship and be seen, not this fake, look at my Facebook picture that I've took, in the shower and to show my cleavage or whatever. No, it's really about, this is me, who I am really. Is it? Do you think that this is the case, or?
Yeah, I think you just nailed it on the head.
Okay.
And I don't think many people can identify that. I don't think anyone can actively, consciously say, I'm Googling or I'm reading your blog right now because I really need to feel seen. And that's the problem with a lot of the other websites, right? People that are trying to help people feel seen, come out and say that on their website. I want to help you feel seen. Doesn't resonate because it's not a conscious thought people are having. I think this is really meta what we're talking about, and it's really what's happening. But I think we need to talk about it in different ways, which is where authenticity kind of has it's like you got to walk the line of this is really what's happening, but this is what this person's really looking for, and I don't think they're always the same.
Do you know, there's posts I've written that have taken me 12, 13, 14 hours. And about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I wrote a post, and it was about a friend who got depression. And I was saying to him, "You're not alone." And I wrote this post. I just said, "If you've got depression, you're not alone. If you have dark thoughts, you're not alone. You know, if you are sick, or you got somebody who you love is sick, you're not alone." And I did about like 30 things called, and I sent it out to my newsletter list, and it took me about half an hour. I got more responses from that newsletter than any newsletter, probably 3 times more responses by people saying it really resonated with me and it really made me feel good. And it took me like less than an hour to write. Yeah, so this time I'm like crafting these clever emails about how you can do this and how you can do that. And all I'm saying to people is, don't worry, we're all in this together. And that's how I kind of end it. We're all in this together. We're all going to go through shit in our lives. There is no alternative to that. It's the yin and the yang, and it's just part of life. Suffering is part of life. And but I think it's difficult to for a lot of people to talk like that on a regular basis, because you are and you do this really well, Ash. And sometimes I can be guilty of trying thinking too hard about trying to be a bit too clever, trying to be about, well, what's Google going to like, and what do people want? Whereas really, it is this whole thing about, this life's tough, but don't worry, you're not alone.
But I like to pitch in actually because I'm reading your blogs, and when you release this one, to me grabbed me because it was really different from what you do. It wasn't smart, it wasn't witty, it's just like coming from the heart. This is what I felt really, and I felt the difference. It was very simple and very powerful. And this is why I think people was grabbed by this blog post, because it resonates, as you mentioned, to something which is very profound in them, which is maybe this loneliness, or I'm feeling lonely here, right? But anyway.
And I think that's as a human, as a race, I mean, you just look at. You only need to watch the news for 5 or 10 minutes, and fuck it just sucks, and people are scared, and we we're looping back to what we were talking about earlier.
Donald Trump,
and it's kind of like that kind of thing is kind of like scary, and it's kind of like scary about the news is completely devoted to trying to scare people, because that's what drives advertising dollars, because that's what keeps people hooked. And when the atrocities happened in both Paris and then Belgium, in Brussels, the news viewings spiked just dramatically. People were watching the same stuff going over, and it was the same thing going round and round again. They were just glued to it. And I think there's this culture in this. We're hardwired to react to fear more than we are, and I don't want to sound woo-woo now, but more to like love. More to feeling connected to one another, that we're all, at the end of the day, we're all fucking just a bunch of molecules. We're all just DNA, and we're all 99.9999% the same. And it's just everything that differentiates us is just for the most part just an accident of birth. And
agreed.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going.
But it's beautiful. Can we have a hug now, right now? Because I feel the love.
Group hug. Yeah.
But it's true. I mean, to draw a parallel from what you just said, I think it's fascinating. marketing and sales speak, if you are selling something to someone, they will always react if you are taking something away from them as opposed to giving them something. So if I'm running a sale and I'm going to take away this low price and make it higher, they'll react more than if you buy now, you get this bonus, which I think is interesting. It is a part of human nature. We're sucked into the sphere of losing things, and we want to pay attention to that, because if we're losing something, I think it means that maybe our safety is at stake. But if we're gaining something, it's kind of like, well, I'm already happy as it is. I really don't need to watch this shit over here about meditation, whatever.
Do you feel in any way, because I have this conversation with my partner, with Life Coach, because he's a marketing expert and I'm not. I've just happened, basically. And he talks about this and about user experience and how you drive, tripwires and all this sort of stuff. And I kind of feel sad that we have to do that. But the reality of the situation is, if you don't, somebody else is going to eat your lunch for you. Somebody else is going to do it. And, so is there any kind of like a dichotomy there, Ash, where on the one hand, you feel like, I've got to do this because to make sales, but I know I'm going to benefit people. But on the other hand, I don't really like using like scarcity tactics or fear tactics or loss tactics or whatever. Do you ever, or is it just like on autopilot now?
No, I think about this a lot. It's something I take into great consideration every single time I'm launching something, making something, or selling something. And it's something I take really seriously, because as someone trained professionally from a former life in marketing, I understand the effectiveness. And it's true, you can't really argue with the numbers. You can't argue with the effectiveness. But I've made it my mission, and this is something that I try to teach, right? Of ways of taking traditional concepts like that and translating them into your own brand, translating them into something that feels, God forbid I say authentic again.
But, oh, God.
Right?
No.
Right?
I'm disgusted now.
Cliche woman.
Yeah. So important, though. I mean, listen, like unfuckwithable girlfriends. That is, in all reality, it's a paid subscription. Did I write the words paid subscription? No, it's called unfuckwithable girlfriends. I'm making you feel like you're a part of something. You're my girlfriend. I'm taking advantage of my personal branding power. Awesome. In the buy button, it says $25 a month. Buy me dinner once a month and I'll tell you everything I know. Like, that is because it's effective. But I'm also staying true to my voice and my brand. Like, look, like, here's what it is. If I need you to buy something before the time is up, I'm going to write you an email and tell you that, the fence rammed up your ass is probably really uncomfortable. You need to get over it one way or the other and say yes or no. So I think that there's a way to use these different marketing tools, tactics for their effectiveness, but still making it fun, making people feel good about the fact that you're using that tactic, because they recognize it. They're not dumb. But if they can get delight out of it, they don't mind. That's the key.
Yeah, it is. It's delivering value. It's when companies like Macy's and JCPenney in the US take the manufacturer's recommended retail price, up it by 20%, and then do a sale and knock it down by 20%, and say we're giving it really fucks with me. It's just like it's just like. Both those companies got taken to court, didn't they, for doing that? But I agree. I think if you're offering value, if somebody's getting that $25 worth of value, I don't know where the hell you're eating in Costa Rica for $25. For fuck's sake, you could buy off of Costa Rica for $25. But I get what you're saying. Maybe when you go to Paris, you can meet Olivier, and he'll buy you
escargot,
a croissant.
No,
$25.
Well, I have a boat company here. Did you know that? That's
why.
What?
A boat company?
A charter boat company here. Yeah. So that's like my real physical business. It's hilarious.
Really?
Yeah, we're number one
Well,
TripAdvisor.
thanks for throwing that in right.
Exactly. I'm just like, what?
By the way, did I not tell you that I'm really a drag queen, or whatever, just like I forgot. I forgot all about that. Yeah, it's like.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm here most of the time. My fiance is also Costa Rican, so we run that business together and some other things.
She's successful.
Sloth or sloth. Has he got a sloth? Because when I was in Costa Rica, they were everywhere. They were like hanging to trees, and they were so cute. I wanted to strip them, but they got like nasty claws.
I mean, the monkeys are here. The monkeys get on my deck, and there's a video on the TMF Facebook page of a monkey nearly attacking me one morning when I was having my coffee outside. It's weird. It's weird. We'll talk about that another day, but I don't really belong in the jungle. It's a very strange environment for me, but here I am.
Well, next time, share your coffee with the fucking monkeys, you selfish bitch. What can I say?
Please, Tim, don't insult her, because I wanted just to ask her something. I just wanted to ask her for a favor. Just like can she help us with the marketing for the Raw Voices? Because obviously it doesn't work. Whatever we do, it doesn't work. So does she have
a start?
It's like 10 years that we've started.
No, we started about a year ago. It was over a year ago. And we've had some massive names on. Seriously. We've had people and we're like, holy shit, I can't believe this person said yes, like James Altucher. We've had
like Ashley Ambirge, that crazy
yeah.
So what should we do, Ash? We like for free. Give us some advice for free, please.
Yeah.
It has to be top-notch advices. How can we have a brilliant marketing?
Okay. Well, do you really want to know?
Yeah.
Do we need to shut down? Is it what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, actually, I really
need some quality content. Then we don't want to know, because that's never going to happen.
No, it won't happen.
Your quality, but it's.
That's not why. Why. Please, I really just don't think. I can't imagine that there are so many podcast listeners out there that are going, "Wow, I really need some more quality content." I mean, that's just not what they're looking for. So don't worry, I think you're totally on the mark. But I will say this.
Joke on the mark, having not quality content.
Just two idiots, that's shit. You're shit, but you're okay.
Yeah, don't worry about the quality content. That's fine. Your content's shit. But that's not your problem. Your problem is this. Yeah, okay. Carry on.
Fine, thank you. Okay.
I'm going to fucking slash my wrists after.
Exactly.
Either that, I'm going to fucking slow one or the other. I don't know which yet.
Oh my God, I'm just loving myself. I mean, I am almost through my glass of wine, so maybe that's why. Well, you talked to Elizabeth, right? Do you remember talking to Elizabeth, my assistant?
Yeah, she was cool.
Okay, she is pretty fucking cool. So this could be a disconnect because you talked to Elizabeth and not me directly, but I talk to a lot of different people every day who are like, "Do you want to be on my podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like podcasts. Let's get on your podcast." But do I ever know what I'm talking about on any given day? No, because it just, I hear the word podcast and I just think it's going to be a rehashed thing of every single thing that everyone else is talking about. And frankly, I thought that about this too before I got on. I had no idea that we were doing video, which is why I ran like a bit, like totally.
I had no idea it was going to be this amateurish.
No, I love it. I actually love it. I think you need to rock it more. But I would like to know maybe like what's the deal? Like, why is this such an awesome podcast? That's such annoying advice to be giving, because you're like, yeah, we know.
In all seriousness, we do it because we love it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we only invite people on who we like. We've talked about a couple of times. We've talked about inviting people on to ambush them. People like Jack Canfield and some of the law of attraction people, just so we can then like ambush them about 15 minutes and say, "Yeah, excuse me, I haven't used this word for about 4 podcasts, but Bob, you're a total cunt. Now, what the fuck, whatever, But so we bring on people who interest us, who we find fascinating, and we talk. We don't. You'll never have guessed this, Ash. You'll never guess this. But we actually don't research our podcast. I know you're stunned to hear that.
You're really surprised.
We want to get on and just chat and see what happens. And with the exception of probably 2 or 3 since we've done it, it's worked out really well. I mean, James Altish has started coaching me halfway through the call. It's just like, holy shit, this is the only one I've ever listened back to, because he was like giving me writing advice. So I think the honest answer is it would be lovely for it to go, to be really popular. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I've thoroughly enjoyed talking to you today. You've been everything that I hoped you were going to be from what I've read on you in terms of fun and easygoing and honest and what have you. And we find that with most of the guests, because even though we don't research per se, we do sort of know a little bit about them or whatever. So I'm going to start tearing up in a minute.
You should rock that at some point. You need to run something. I mean, like the whole idea of raw voices, like unscripted, basically blindfolded, like kidnapping humans and nobody even knows what's going to happen. I think it actually has an interesting appeal. Like I could be anybody, or you could be interviewing the homeless guy down the street. It really is kind of cool. The idea of we're going to get on and see what unfolds. It's an angle.
We actually got one time a guest cancelled on us at the last minute. I can't remember what it was now. So I went on Twitter panicking with about half an hour to go, saying, anybody know anybody interested that would come on the blog? And we brought this guy on who was like, he was runner-up in the world photography competition. And we'd like no idea. He was like, was he Finnish, I think, wasn't he?
He was Finnish, yeah.
He's Finnish, but he was living in Wales, and he was living in Cardiff in Wales in the UK. And he said, Cardiff is the UK city of culture this year. And I said, being the city of culture in the UK, and I can say this in the UK, is like being, the hottest woman in Ethiopia. And it came out, and after I said it, I thought, shit, the guest we got on the following week, his wife was Ethiopian. And I'm thinking, fuck, if he listens to this. And I'm saying to Olivier, you've got to edit that out. I don't know where that came from. I don't know what the fuck happened there. You've got to edit it out because it's racist. Everything about that joke is wrong. And the bastard refused to edit it. He says, no, we said never editing anything out. And he left it in. And I'm grateful that the person, I'm pretty sure they didn't listen to it. Otherwise, they would not have.
I feel guilty just laughing. Like my first instinct was to laugh really hard at that, which is horrible. But I mean,
it's stupid. That's fine. It's stupid.
Humor has that effect.
Okay, so basically, we will rock one day in 10 years' time. Thank you for the advice. Thank you for this, Ashley. I think I'm more depressed now. Because I'm stuck with you, Tim. This is what will happen. At the end of the day. So I don't know.
French people always sound so goddamn condescending. They really do.
Really? Now you're insulting me now?
Really
I don't think you really mean that. You're like,
he does. He does really mean it. He's like obsessed with death and just fucking being morose all the time. That is how he is. But he's a genuine guy. Let me ask you: are you going to Paris on your trip to Europe?
I might as well. Like, why wouldn't I?
Go and see Olivier, and you can see him in person, and you'll see he's as miserable as fucking person as he is on the.
I will invite you to it. Actually, my wife cooks very well. So. And
next time you come to Orlando, give me a shout. And
listen, my hair girl is in Orlando. I am in love with her. I need to go to Orlando to do my hair. I need it. I need to go.
Me too. Will she do mine? Do you think she could do much with mine?
Seriously, she's right downtown. It's the cutest little section. I liked Orlando. It was cute. There's a lot of girls, a lot of women there that tend to talk like, hey, bitch. And I didn't really know what to say to them back. But other than that.
Hey, bitch. Hey, bitch. Is that like Valley Girl type accent?
Yeah, I heard it everywhere. I was like eating lunch in a restaurant, at a bar, whatever. Hey, bitch. It just kept happening. Like, what is happening here? Like, and now I can't even picture you living there. It's so funny.
No,
I cannot picture either. I think you're hiding somewhere else. Anyway.
Do you go to Universal Studios and ride the Harry Potter ride ever? Because I love that ride.
Yeah, every day. People ask me that. It's like, how often do you go to Disney? When we first moved to Orlando, the first house we moved to, a place called Windermere, we could see the Disney fireworks every night. And the first night, it's like, oh, that's amazing. Second night, oh, yeah, that's good. Third night, oh, fourth night, what the fuck? Did they have to have these fucking fireworks on every night? It's driving the fucking dogs nuts. After 3 weeks, it's like, I fucking hate Disney. I really do. I've been to Disney a number of times when I've managed to get in for free with people. And I didn't like some of the rides. But the best ride actually is Kraken at SeaWorld. So go to
okay.
SeaWorld.
So are we going to this now? Like
we've killed this podcast.
For God's sake, no. Let's not talk about Disney, guys. Okay. So Ashley, thank you for being on this podcast. You know, whatever this podcast is about, by the way. But I really enjoy your humor, your laughter, your swearing, and everything. Please, if you come to Paris, we'll have lunch. Okay.
Absolutely, I will call you.
You have to.
I have your Skype name.
I would like to say the same. I think you'd be absolutely fantastic. Anybody that's listening, Ash hasn't been feeling too good, and she was still good enough to come on, even though she wasn't feeling herself. And I think that's awesome. I'd have bailed out, and I bailed out on Olivier a couple of times. The last podcast we did, I went to do a meditation, fell asleep, and didn't join the podcast until halfway through.
And it was with my deaf friends. You know, we were talking about deaf for 30 minutes. You know,
and I'm like, oh, holy shit! But anyway, so thank you. I think you're absolutely awesome. You deserve all the success you get. You're way better than I even thought you were, and I thought you were pretty good beforehand. So, Ash, thank you so much. It's been an absolute delight having you on. So, thank you.
You are also way better than I thought you were. I really like you.
That's the best compliment ever.
You're a complete dick.
Yeah.
And now you're just a bit of a dick. That's great. Yeah.
No, not even. Like, I love entertaining humans, and you guys are that. I really appreciate that. Sometimes doing podcasts can get really boring. So thanks for not being boring. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Truly.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye. And let's stop.
Make all the air kisses. I'm just going to keep recording.
Oh, for God's sake. Do you really want to do that? Okay. I'm stopping.
No, I'm not even going. Why kitchen tiles and not bathroom tiles?
They do it for the water drainage, because if the water drains underwater and then they recycle it and you drink it, they don't want dead bodies under there because they don't have the sufficient ceilings or whatever it is to seal the body properly.
Shit. I think they should give control over to the sloths. I think they would run the fucking country a damn sight better. I'm sure there's an alternative. I'm sure there's other countries that have got a high water table where they don't do anything as quite as gross as that. I'd sell your boat business, Ash, and
go
get
to the funeral industry.
I know. Well, no, I
water.
Chile.
Yeah, you combine the two. Water burials are fucking brilliant. Yes, absolutely fantastic. We take you out and we throw some like chum over the edge to get the shark.
And a shark will eat you.
Yeah, well,
and then we toss it.
Pull it off.
Yeah, that could work. I'd rather be chomped on a shark than fucking in a bathroom tiled fucking kitchen tile.
And they're always white. The tiles are always white. They're all the same. They're like, they're so just depressing. But I will say, when I lived in Chile for a long time, years, they had the same scenario, except their bodies are all in these buildings and they're all outside. They all go up, but they're like drawers, and every single body goes in a drawer, and you can, it's weird.
Check they're still dead, so you can go back. Just want to check they're still. Yep.
You can't see the face or anything, but they're in drawers just like that, and so that way they save space and everything is economical. I don't know.
But you see, immediately we're talking about death, and immediately it's very interesting. By the way, I've started to record like 3 minutes ago, so I will add this up, on top of that.
I've still been recording the whole time. So.
I stopped recording. I'm gutted that I did, because this whole Chile death trade fucking thing. These are only the countries you've lived in. What the hell's going on in some of the ones that are even more backward that we don't know about?
I don't know.
No.
Don't you think it's backward? Maybe it's not backward. Maybe that's the future, man. You know, have to respect the different culture. You know,
it's the future. Actively the future. You've got to think at some point you're going to run out of places to put dead people covered in kitchen tiles. You've only got so much land that you can do that. You know, so it can't really be the future, can it? You know, think about it sensibly. In like 100 years, it's like you've got fucking. You could make great big walls of them, I guess. You know,
maybe get a pile of kitchen tiles, you know, like have stories, you know. Then after,
like walking into a Bed Bath and Beyond or something like that. Like you got tiles everywhere. It's just like, look, there's Uncle Henry. Which one's he? I've no idea. He's somewhere in that fucking pile of dead people or whatever. It just I'm not into that. And as for having them in drawers, that's like the Japanese where they sleep in drawers. You know, the businessmen where they don't want to go home and they go into those units and they can buy a drawer and sleep in it. And it's like this glass drawer. It's just like, no, I don't want to do that. You know, I don't want to masturbate in a drawer next to some other guy who's probably doing exactly.
Finally, we go to the good stuff now. Can we talk about sex now? Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
My cheeks are burning.
I've never masturbated in a drawer in my life. You know, I don't want to start now. You know, yeah. So I should stop recording. This was the best bit.
No, but they actually in Chile they have a party once a year. It's a holiday where all the people go to the cemetery and barbecue next to their dead ones.
They don't barbecue the dead. Actually, I bet that's the way they keep the numbers down and keep the room. They barbecue the dead ones. It's like, this one's been in here 5 years. He's had long enough. Fuck it. We need some new space. We'll barbecue him. And then we've got an extra bit of space. And that way... But nobody's ever asking the question, how come we never run out of room? You've been eating fucking human flesh for the last year. And it's called the Party of the Dead for a reason, you know. So
I mean, real talk though, back in the 70s, Chile had a humongous overthrow of government from the military. I don't know if anyone remembers this, but they did. What?
The junta.
Yeah. They overthrew and the military became the president. And when that happened, he actually just fucking started assassinating whoever was still a liberal. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I mean, these people were never found again. Completely. They call them the desaparecidos, and they're just completely gone. Mm-hmm. They've got a whole wall dedicated to them with every single person's name that never came back. So maybe this was just an exercise in efficiency. Like they didn't have any more room, so they did the water burial. I'm sure of it.
Okay.
That is, I mean, yeah, the whole, because that happened in Argentina as well, but the whole, in fact, in half of South America, they've had governments where people have gone, you know, hundreds of thousands and I think millions went missing in Chile, didn't they? They were just wiped out. And just, you know, it's just, it's fine. Well, this has fucking brought me down anyway. I was feeling really chipper. Until now.
Joke out of that, but that was really bad.
I was fucking. No.
That was right on par with your.
I nearly told my joke about. I think you know Jim Jeffries. Sorry, beg your pardon. Greg Giraldo, the comedian, is dead now. He died of a drug overdose, and he talks about this whole thing about. He does this thing, this sketch, and he's hysterical. Go on YouTube, Greg Giraldo, and he does this thing about where. A woman who was talking about gay rights, and he was saying, "I'm in favour of gay rights." She says, "You know, but I was in this party. This woman said, well, I wouldn't mind if my son wanted to brought home a kangaroo." And he's like, "You wouldn't mind a kangaroo? I mean, first of all, you're going, how the fuck did he get a kangaroo home? You know?" And then he says, and I told this joke one time, and this guy said, "Yeah, but if you were going to fuck a marsupial, you'd fuck a koala bear, wouldn't you?" And he's like, "What? You really thinking that if you're going to fuck it?" Yeah. And he said, and he says, "But how would he get around the claws?" And this was what the whole thing I was getting at before was. He said, and Greg Giraldo went. He said, "What you'd have to do," he said, "you have to go to the pet store and say, where is the koala fucking department? Where's the koala fucking accoutrements? I need some mittens to put on the claws for my koala fucking. You have to listen to it.
Anyway, you have to listen to it. I think you don't tell the story very, very fondly.
I love him. He's great. He's just great.
You're like, okay, really?
You're like the best. Yeah, you're the best. Like, he's so cute.
I don't even know what she's looking at because it better be fucking me because if it's be livid. But anyway,
can we just talk really quickly about this red thing that's behind you? Let's talk about that. What is that?
It's a dead body.
It's the one that killed.
Put a fucking blanket over them.
You want to
That's what I figured. I thought I would ask. Just
is it one of the guitars? He's like mad. He's got.
It's the other side of the guitars. I see. He showed me that earlier. He showed me the guitars. Yeah.
He won't show me them. He refuses to show. I beg to see his guitars, and just like, look at that.
That's it.
It's my sweaty American charm. Does it every time.
Yeah. So I don't play any musical instruments. I don't speak any foreign languages.
Yeah, I'm sexy as hell. I know that.
Yeah, and my wife thinks
your bio even says it.
Well, my wife thinks his accent is. She's like, ooh, I'm like, but he's a complete cunt, It's just like you can't get round that fact, Just can talk like Maurice Chevalier, thank heavens for little girls.
He's so jealous. Anyway, Ash, thank you for it.
I think we ought to wrap this up before one of us gets arrested.
It may happen. Thank you guys. I enjoy you. I will probably be sending you inappropriate emails at some point, so look out for that.
Dude, I love inappropriate stuff. Yeah, I've got a folder that says inappropriate. Drop straight.
So all your porn is in there. Okay, we know that. Okay.
You're just gonna set a filter like Ash emails going
not
there.
That big. All my porn. I've got a separate fucking 14 terabyte drive for that. Yeah.
Okay, Ash, take care.
Okay, we'll be in touch. Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.